Good evening. I'd just like to talk a bit about what I've been setting up. And you might have heard me talk about a bit if you've come across me in, say, a pub or had a conversation with me somewhere out and about. I've said I'm self-employed and I work for my company, which is called SAFCOMMS Limited. I also have another company called UMOSRAS Corporation Limited. But I set these two companies up. Basically, they're both non-for-profit. They don't make me any money. Everything I put in is, basically out of my own pocket. It's not designed to generate any money for myself unless something comes of it for the whole community, and that's the whole plan of what I'm trying to set up. But that's not so important as to talk about really what it is I've been doing. I put a lot of time and a lot of effort into it, and it's become something that I've made my whole career, I suppose, and something I've developed for quite a long time now. I mean, on and off now for 20 years, I suppose, with or without knowing that I've been working for this. I've been doing this whole operation. And often I talk about SAFCOMS to people who I meet when they see me out and about. I say, yeah, basically what it is it's a security outfit, an internet security outfit that ensures that people are able to conserve their own liquid property and ultimately have their own aura of data that they're able to access from any interface they interact with or get connected to out and about whenever they go, say, either down to the library or back to their home computer in their own house. The idea is basically to remove consumer restraints from it and to technically enable through a physical, permanent, and particle arc web infrastructure to organize a connection through the whole network that enables a secure system to operate throughout all sort of prior, as they call themselves, digital components, so that the interface that they are able to access is all their own history, their own ideas, their own connections, what they do on the computer, what their work is, all that sort of thing, what their habits are, what their tastes in wine are, what they like going out to eat and drink, and they have it all accessible as their own liquid property, not the liquid property of a corporation who is using it to make money from finding out information about people and selling this information as a commodity to make themselves even richer. And in this process, what I'm doing, it is primarily a system for security for the individual, provided there's no illegal activity or activity that's going to cause serious damage or make an accident happen or something like that. So the system has been foolproof and fully checked to make sure that should something that makes the system vulnerable happen in it, that undermines the central monolith that controls the program, security program, and all the networks connected to it and everything else, then automatically it flags up and there's a sort of a reservoir where the information is taken out of the system and reused to discredit the person involved in the operation that's causing purposefully and willfully causing damage to a system that is operating on many levels and certainly helping various levels of justice happen, and also enabling individuals to compartmentalize their ideas and look after their liquid property. So it's important, it's imperative that there's no industrial espionage in the system, and all that sort of thing is kept quiet and reduced and extracted if it comes onto the network with someone who is doing the right thing and not causing a nuisance on in the sort of liquid property by causing criminal acts to happen and that sort of thing. So that's primarily the system I'm creating, is designed to prevent loss of information to the individual who's just trying to set up at grassroots level, either a business or something like that. Because it's often quite common for a media maelstrom to extract ideas from the individual and create some sort of network that enriches the few and demotes the many to a position of being someone who has to slave away at work for someone else all the time without any aspiration of ever getting hire and becoming their own boss and running their own business and system. That's primarily the reason why I'm setting it up. Um, so what I've done with this network is I've created many offshoots of it. I've come up with many creative ideas, many things to overcome on the network that I consider to be consumer restraints. Certainly, the menace of 5G to me is something that has to be dealt with and turned into a benign system. I think it's important we don't operate in 5G knowingly getting into a system that's going to control the masses, control the minds, and enslave people even more to make the corporate giants win big, even more than they were before. I think it's important, in the system that I'm in, I've been able to create a system that doesn't become overbearing with issues such as 5G and all that sort of thing. And what I've set up actually is something called the light web, which operates through everything and is able to record information and report information should it be criminal in nature, but generally quite a generous level of self-autonomy and much less surveillance in terms of trying to find out what people's thoughts are and what their motives are and what, like I say, in the whole commercial sector, how people sell information to make money from it. The whole system is involved in giving you back that information and letting your personal aura enhance your system and your network that you operate on and work on day to day. So that's the system. That's what I'm hoping to create with it, and that's basically what I do. I also am setting up a creative platform where I'm trying to enhance other people who come up with the same ideas, same sort of ideas. They come up with networks to create, say, new business initiatives or something like that. And often in that situation, we want to enhance their local area where they come from originally, if they may associate with us in Gloucestershire now, but they may want to enhance their local area and create some sort of platform around them, around the infrastructure that they're setting up in that particular area. And I'm trying to encourage that to happen, especially around Britain during this Brexit period, to enhance grassroots ideas and enhance people to make their ideas something more of a futuristic and a much better way of enhancing an existing legal infrastructure idea. Basically, the way I see it is there's an LE-LOD, which is the existing legal infrastructure as the base rate of everything. That's where we are now in the world. And then the legal organizational direction, which is the movement of these grassroots movements who go through a 6-step academy program that I'm trying to set up. And I've maybe been through myself part way or almost all of the way. And I'm trying to get people to get to that seniorization level where their idea becomes a legal organizational direction. They've thought up the idea at a blank slate, say, gone through a whole process of development, had the idea taken from them from existing businesses around the world or in the country, and then finally they're able to farm their idea back out to that business and say, look, if you use this method, this is the original idea, this is how it's meant to work, this is how it will ultimately operate, and they'll be given the best facilities to make that happen and make it happen so that they can quickly enhance the business and drive it through the roof. Sky's the limit, and suddenly we've got a huge industry that has an ethereal quality that has become real. That's the idea. That's the whole process that I'm trying to make happen from it for other people. So in my creative area, what I've tried to do around my area in Gloucestershire is set up not only the security and the products that I'm setting up through this light web, such as some of the Christian AI, some of the space products which I'm trying to create, which basically acts as a messiah to dish out information and security on a sort of a blanket process throughout the whole network so that everyone within that area is able to tap into the space product and gain the attributions that it gives them within the area, either through a method that is permanent arc connections in the very much the locality of Gloucestershire and to the outer areas of Gloucestershire, a sort of temporary art connection, which no pun intended, but I suppose it keeps being taken as tax, like a sort of slight fee paid for the security that this product is farmed out to people, and therefore, they're able to go to work and do all their stuff, but at the same time paying a little bit of extra money. They'll be able to get the security and set up their businesses and create practices in areas outside the area that I'm working in, specifically where I live in Gloucestershire. So yeah, what I'm hoping to create with this is like a future reality, possibly almost, one day having our space program and having like connections throughout the whole network that will enable us to reach out and create things for people all over the world and have our own Commonwealth and everything like that. This is this is an alternative to London. This is a second area of Britain which can be enhanced and made into a great area. In my projections, I say we'll have some kind of beautiful city with a lovely situation, outlook, all that sort of thing, with possibly more dystopian elements to it, but only for the sort of within a safe element. Properly policed, where police are the agents to enable people to have their facilities set up and the whole thing a good process to live and aspire to behaving in a decent and appropriate way. The technologies will be prevalent there. There'll be like beautiful grassroots vines. Everything will be controllable to the dweller of each occupancy. So if you live in a nice villa or whatever, which is cyber-dimensionally escalated, created, and you're able to sort of dream up some ideas in your garden or whatever. All you need to do is ask your CADSer if it's possible. The CADSer will say yes at some point. You're able to achieve this, and you're able to graph these things. So you program it in, and it comes up all over your lawn. The lawn's always cut the right level. Plants come at the right time. The grass roots, the vines come up. Everything's connected, and also the same within your house. There'll be sort of this pleasant technology enabling you to operate, facilitate your situation very well to your creative levels, and also contributing. So that there'll be this universal credits to ensure that everyone contributes. So what it'll be is, rather than the government payment of benefits, which is a good idea in a way, and although I thought up the idea of universal credits before it came to being, this universal credits idea in the government, the idea of universal credits meant that we could come up with our own ideas and contribute these ideas for other ideas, and there'd be a nominal token of exchange, which would be these universal credits, to ensure that we were acknowledged or discredited, depending on what we're doing right or wrong, by people in the community for our works and our labours as we helped people and developed ideas and trained people or did anything that we were able to do. And obviously, the whole system is empowered through this Christian AI that I've set up to automatically attribute accreditation to the right people and a certain amount. I mean, everyone will get something, no matter how much you contribute, but at a certain level, people need to be looked after and given more. And obviously, the whole thing creates profit. I mean, it's profitable because having a system like this will ultimately create a commonwealth, and creating a commonwealth will ultimately lead to bringing more assets outwards, which we'll initially be able to charge for, and then ultimately, we'll be able to trade ideas and accredit each other, and accreditation will move around the globe in connection to what we're actually doing and what we're all connected with. So it looks like a good idea on that basis anyway. That's all written on my UMOSRAS website. You can read about that. And if you want to read about the technologies a bit more, if you read about technologies, Avena, there's a good description of the sort of technologies that I'm offering and that I'm able to, at the moment, do in the microcosm, because it's very difficult without the space product to go everywhere and to enable everything to be equipped with it. But when the brackets in Walls 2 get set up, or Walls 1, as I'm going to call it, the inner walls, when they get set up, they'll pump out this product, which will enable everything to be charged with electricity, and the power and the facility to move things around, the facility to secure things, and the facility to look after universal credits, and the facility to enable people to communicate. The communications assets will be very good. We won't need plugged-in Wi-Fi, plugged-in electricity, all that sort of thing. It'll be freestanding. We'll be able to access the power, electrics through the network, and the networks will create its own electricity through these travel transfer portals. So we're going to have these portals where people will be able to walk in through a barrier and come out somewhere else 2 seconds later, and somewhere else miles away in another part of the area where we'll be operating, and this will cause electrical current to be created, and there will be a generation of electrical current that will go throughout the network and be trapped in the system through what I call the local electricity matrices, or the LEMs. So that's UMOSRAS, and what I hope to do with UMOSRAS is farm it out to other people, and other people who come up with similar ideas or come up with ideas of their own that are totally original or connected to mine, but not totally my idea or totally their idea. What I'd like to do is farm the idea out and create practices for other people in other areas of the world or country specifically, and definitely generate a sort of creative ambiance in Britain post Brexit, and generate new grassroots ideas, and not just make it a one city country, but make it a multipolar connecting network that is able ultimately to have its own Commonwealth all over the world. Great, thanks.